Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody tonight? So here we go with blaming Trump for everything. I don't know if I said that too soon. I didn't get through my 30 seconds, but we'll go over what this coordinated messaging that they have. It's very interesting. And remember, I said a lot of broadcasts ago, the doctrine, I called it the doctrine of clean hands. So how is that going to apply here? And no, we didn't get a speech by Mr. T in the House of Representatives. That was pretty much tamped down. Let me see. Who's coming in the chats? How we got? Let's see. Oh, I got to move my little thing here. Late for his nap. This was put up. I think Citizens Free Press put that picture up. They got it from Virginia, I think. Rural Virginia. Hi, Doc. How you doing? Miss Mendersu, Gary Steiner. Haha. Finally a live show. Bubba, Quilt, Leisha, Damon, Kicking Bird, Doc Ghost. How you doing? That's good. Everybody's rolling in. Let me see. Gosh, Kim is here. Kim Haggerty, how you doing? Sissy K. So Diane's in. Whoa, gosh, the chats are flying. Melinda. Yeah, Gary, last we heard you were driving. I was like, man, I hope nothing happened. Henri gave me a thumbs up. Yeah, and while you're coming in, before you forget, I've done it. I've watched live streams and said, oh my gosh, I forgot a thumbs up. I need to get one of those little things they put on the screen. Did you give me a thumbs up? Yes or no? There's Marla. How you doing? Susie D. Cindy. They do it like a poll. But, man, I tell you, I'm lucky to get live by 9:30, 9:40. All the cropping and whenever I do a picture show. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Mary. Wanda. Yeah. Yeah, Talib's. I just had to move that one over. I'll show you Talib in a minute. She didn't just have a Palestinian flag out. How you doing, Mike? 2 mics. So, that's good. CJ, 1975. Yeah, hit the like on the way in. Gary says, hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? M. Hi, Nikki. There you are. Hi, Dottie. Annette. Six days a week. Uh-oh. Well, that's not like the Beatles song, 8 days a week. But 6 days is plenty. Man, those days are gone for me. Warrior, for what's right, how you doing? Awaken Trillium. I guess if I had to, I would, though. If you got to do it, you got to do it, right? But anyway, here's somebody put up in their yard. Biden and Jill. Late for his nap? Well, theirs is forever. Vote Democrats out. And I guess the Tea Party is still going. They didn't get audited off the planet by you know who. So I still think people are going to be going to jail for that business of sicking the IRS on people. We shall see. We were told nobody walks away from this, right? Nobody. So anyway, there she is. There's, what's her name? Rashida Tlaib. Diamond Sook put this up. How did the Democrat Party become a haven for corrupt anti-American criminals? And she displays Palestinian flag outside of her congressional office. Well, it's worse than that. She's also got a alphabet flag out in the hallway in front of her office. You know, they're supposedly making her take it down. The Palestinian flag, but really they need to have some decorum in our house, in the hallways. It reminds me of how these elementary schools used to go in and they had a glass case where there were trophies and stuff, and they had a wall reserved for a bulletin board, But now you go in there and it's like a fun house with every wall has got some kind of political garbage on it. Some teachers dreaming up, instead of teaching their kids, they go wild with, let's decorate this wall. Well, how was this country founded? Have you taught them that yet? Oh, it was founded by a bunch of colonists and patriarchs, and that's over with now. We're starting a new thing. So anyway, so this is what it reminds me of. We got these nitwits in Congress that treat the hallways of Congress like an elementary school, putting their messages up, their foolishness, and there needs to be some decorum restored. It's just that simple. And so anyway, that's my rant on that. But she did have an alphabet flag. Nobody's saying anything about that, but they should, because that is rotting away our society and causing a lot of health problems, mental and physical health problems, especially for our young people, and stress on the family. So we got to have a national discussion about it. So here's an update on Sadie. She was taking a nap. The leaves are falling, and it was a little chilly out, so she got in the sun where it's nice and warm, and she didn't want to do nothing because, this was after she got in a rumble. I told y'all she got in a rumble in the laundry room with some alley cat, stray cat. So she took a big nap here, and I did roll call. I said, Sadie, and she stuck her paw out. Here, I'm here, and she kept her eyes covered. So she was pretty wore out, but at least she didn't join a gang. I'm glad. She's a good girl, but I don't like her going out and getting fights. But that was an encroachment on our turf, and she took care of it. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you an update on her. But now with Gaza, there have been retaliation on top of retaliation. And I'm not going to post any videos, but boy, nobody's sleeping good in Gaza. And they're still launching missiles into Israel from Gaza. Another large group of missiles. Last time I talked to you, they had launched over 5,000, and they had another go around. I don't know how many that was, but the Iron Dome, as I said, was effective as well as could be technologically expected. And this time they activated the Patriot batteries to back them up. So they've already done some land incursions. They actually sent some squads into Lebanon. So that's another flashpoint we got to look at. Lebanon, if you remember, that was where we lost the Marine barracks, over 200 Marines. And that's when Reagan said, that's enough of this, and pulled everybody out. So, if Reagan would have had his way, Iran wouldn't be the issue it is today. But that's a story for another time. Wouldn't you say? Let me see what's going on in the chats. Because most people in the chats right now, remember, they let the hostage go, Iran let the hostages go, U.S. hostages, before Reagan took office. And who said I got a smelly cat? Carrie said I got a smelly cat. Now, she's dopey, but she keeps herself clean. She's dopey, I will say that. She got her good points. Yeah, she was sunning. Hi, camperman. So, hi, Richard. Be charming. How you doing? Oh, God. See, I'm going backwards in the chat. Gary said the imposters will be arrested Red October. Well, that now we got those two issues we heard about. Devin Nunes gave a 60-day clock. He said 60 days before Biden resigns or something similar to that. And he was very close to the end of October when that would be 60 days would be up. And the other one was the report where something would be released, some tapes or a video of Biden. Who was that reporter? Anyway, you all know who I'm talking about. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. You know, we have been bristled up and ready every October. It is nerve-wracking, but we got our heads on right? So that's the main thing. I got a message up here. Holy cow, Gary, you came back with a bang. Gary came in to buy me a coffee. I'm going to hit my fireworks towards the end of the broadcast so I don't get the chat stuck on my screen. But I want to thank everybody who helped me last week. And we're into a new week now, so I'll make sure you get your name on there, Gary. But this is everybody that helped me last week. I put booms there. How you like the way I did that? Tennessee, Pappy, Norm, Lone Wolf, Shaza, Camperman, and Julie. And so I'm going to make, for this platform, a list of everybody that's donated. And Gary's starting off the week with a bang. So I will do some special effects before we sign off. Here you go. Here's the video I put up. Everybody got a kick out of. Here we go. Somebody said to have the music from Wizard of Oz when I play this. So I have to see how I get the Wizard of Oz music playing when that. Dun, 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 dun. So don't let the door hit you. Okay, for talking to Joe, I'm sure. Here, actually, I stitched that little video to this video. I got some videos on play before the stream gets tired because it won't play that smooth. But here's a couple little funny videos I stitched together.
Donald J. Trump is President of the United States.
I'm so sorry to my world. I'm so sorry.
And there you go with Hillary. Hillary riding her little bike, running away from DJT. And that's what it's going to end up being. But I don't think she's going to have a smile on her face when it happens. But anyway, I thank you, Nikki, for sending me that video about, oh, yeah, there you go. Nikki said, did you watch the video I sent last night? I have a clip of it. And I also got the translation from YouTube about a small part of it where I couldn't really catch what he was saying, but we'll play it and everybody can read the subtitles and listen to the translators. It's a little difficult, but anyway, I'm going to play this clip that I didn't play. I wanted things to settle down a little bit, but this is where everybody is at that concert that was like Burning Man. And it was very close to the Gaza Strip. And these, you can see them in the sky. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6. I see 6 of those paragliders, and nobody has any notion that within minutes, it's a very short clip, 17 seconds. 17 seconds. But anyway, I'll play it. And you count how many of those things. You could see these people are not prepared. They have no idea what's happening. And within literal minutes of this video being taken, all HE double hockey sticks breaks out. You know, they'd been advertising that. They call it a rave, R-A-V-E. They've been advertising it for a while. You know, on social media, they put up past concerts they've had, and you got these, you might as well say fundamentalists, and their women got to wear burqas, and they ain't wearing burqas in this video. So, they knew this party was coming. You had the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War starting. And in hindsight, it's like smack your head. Why didn't people think about it? So, you know, that's the reason to keep an eye on your history, right? But I'll tell you, here's another video that's encouraging. And it's part of people coming around. I'll use that term because the rhythm gets me on the other one, you know, where people wake up, the great, right? Okay, and then wakening. So this is people coming around, folks. I'll call it metropolitan areas, okay, instead of cities. But this is a guy in the city, and when you watch this video, you watch how many military-age men are in this video, and also to what he's saying.
Yeah, they going into hotel rooms, but what about the American homeless though? But look at them, they broke into the country illegally. Look at them. Look at this. All different cultures, they broke in the country illegally, and they getting put in hotels. What about the American people? What about the American homeless? What about the American homeless? They can't sleep on benches and parks. They got tents everywhere. What about the American homeless? How come they're not going to hotels? What about the American veteran? How come he ain't going in a hotel? The homeless veteran. More bikes right here, the bikes. How to get around. Man, whoever selling scooters in New York or the Jersey area, they have came up big. The scooters everywhere.
Okay, he ends up the video. He ends up the video showing these motorcycles for sale. That's another situation where you have street vendors making a killing. Okay, no papers, no residency, no nothing, and they're setting up food stands across from restaurants that have to abide by the law, buy permits, pay their employees minimum wage, do health department inspections, all this stress and misery, pay rent on a building, you know, but you have food vendors, migrants, quote, okay, out there pushing carts, and, you know, regular businesses can't survive, and they're doing street vending, just everything you can think of, like these motorcycles. Who knows where they came from? Stolen off the docks, or who knows what? Who said? Somebody said that Melvita, how you doing? Said I heard that it was fake. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. And you'll hear Netanyahu say, don't listen to those kind of rumors about Egypt supposedly having warned Israel ahead of time. That did not happen. And there's going to be a lot of misinformation floating around. We'll go over some of and they do it in all different areas, misinformation to get people confused, distracted, and to look other ways. Just like what they're doing, talking about Donald Trump. I might as well get that out of the way because this is the narrative now. Where's these old hags at? Wait a second. I got to find them. Oh, I might have to go out of the studio to The View. They call themselves The View. Let's see. Where are you? There they are. Here we go. This is coordinated and all a bunch. Well, you know what it is, right?
And so I would like to know who's behind this, because it's very interesting that now I would think Putin is sitting back and saying, wow, well, they're going to send their money to Israel. So maybe they won't send them to Ukraine. They won't send the money to Ukraine now. I'm very suspicious of this. And what did Donald Trump tell Putin when he was in Helsinki? These are questions that need to be answered in this country. I would like to hear the answers to those questions. I'd like to know where the $6 billion came from. Yeah, well.
Where did the $6 billion come from while she's talking about Trump being in Helsinki, 6 years ago? That has absolutely nothing to do with this. So they're trying to pin it on Putin and they're trying to pin it on Trump. Well, the $6 billion was let go by Joe Biden's administration. And there's no disputing that. But, of course, they are going to bring out every bit of garbage they can to try to pin it on Trump. And here's a little collage that Sky News Australia put up that just shows, it just proves the media narrative. Whoa, I can't get that. There we go. The media narrative left. Trump was going to start World War III. Here goes the narrative.
We're on the brink of World War III because Donald Trump took the worst possible option given to him in a slideshow.
In this country, we have begun to overestimate the dangers of impeachment and underestimate the dangers of a deranged president retaining control over a nuclear hyperpower.
We cannot wait around while Donald Trump is in control of the nuclear weapon.
Your objection to potentially going into World War III cannot be procedural.
The biggest danger of the Trump presidency is that we are always just a Trump whim away from nuclear war.
They say it's World War III, but I'm looking out my window. It's very quiet in those smoking craters out there.
Has to be told that it's his job to avoid World War III.
One Democratic congressman sent me a note this evening and say this president wants this war.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They know that.
So there's people that live and breathe the channels that you just saw over and over again, pounding that stuff home. And Joy Reid wants to bring up Helsinki. Well, I'll bring up Helsinki. That is when Putin told the world, and I played the video, I played the press conference when Putin said, members of the U.S. intelligence services took hundreds of millions of dollars out of Russia with the promise that there would be better relations with Russia after the election, and they gave $500 million of it to Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign. They know the accounts, they know the names of the intelligence agents, and everybody, when they heard Putin say that in front of the world, they went nuts. And I'll play it again, no problem. I don't have it right now, but in the future, I will play it again because that's when it all started with full force. So I saw in the chats, Let's see. Was it 400 million, Wanda? I'll have to play that. I've got that clip. I'll pull it up again, one of my broadcasts. And I think they purposely do the person who is the, translator. They purposely do it where it's difficult to understand what's being said. They could translate those press conferences, and they don't. But let me see. I'm just scrolling real quick through the chats. So anyway, let me see. It was either 300, 400, 500 million. It was one of those figures, and I thought it was 500 million. I don't know. We'll find out. But as far as I saw somebody talking about what they're bringing over the border, and I showed you that video that young man put up, not just the vendors. What he was talking about was Americans are homeless. And he said, look at them all, coming from who knows what country. What about Americans? They're walking into a hotel. But while he's saying that, you're looking at these guys, and they are all military age, and they're fit, and they don't have children. They don't have wives. They're by themselves. And it's not any brother and sisters or nothing like that. So here's an interesting report. Carly Bonney put this up. It says KB at the bottom of, so I'm going to give credit to her, of course. Oh, I might have cropped that out. But anyway, Carly Bonney posted this, I believe, on True Social and or Twitter. And her name is spelled Karlibonne. But anyway, this is very interesting about what's going on at that border, that the average American needs to get drilled in their head.
Years now, Border Patrol agents have been telling us they've got extreme concerns about who is crossing our southern border, primarily because so many agents have been pulled off the front lines to instead focus on processing, and that then leaves gaps in our border where we simply have nobody out on patrol, and the numbers are startling. We'll start with the terror watch list numbers. Fiscal year 2023 so far, 151 people on the FBI's terror watch list have been arrested by Border Patrol agents while they were crossing illegally here at our southern border. That is the highest number on record. It's also higher than the previous 6 years combined. The highest number under Trump was 6. We got 151 this year so far. Now, the Biden administration says, well, that shows they're catching more people, right? Not exactly. We'll talk about the gotaways. CBP sources telling us since President Biden took office, there have been well over 1.5 million known gotaways at our southern border. These are illegal immigrants who are crossing the border and are seen on cameras or sensors, but Border Patrol doesn't have the manpower to get to them, so they successfully get into the United States without capture. For perspective, that is a population size bigger than the city of Dallas, Texas, that has successfully snuck across our border and gotten into the United States without apprehension. It's enough people to fill up 16 Rose Bowls in Pasadena, California. We also got some brand new internal CBP data leaked to us this morning from CBP sources. If we can pull this graphic up, this data showing that thousands of so-called special interest aliens have been arrested by Border Patrol while crossing at our southern border illegally over the last 2 years. These special interest countries are what the federal government determines countries or conditions that favor terrorism or could potentially pose a threat to the United States. But you can see these countries, thousands from Afghanistan, more than 600 from Iran, more than 160 from Lebanon, the home of Hezbollah, more than 500 people from Syria, the home of ISIS, more than 130 from Yemen, home of the Houthi rebels. And former Border Patrol Chief Rodney Scott, who served under both President Trump and President Biden, says when Border Patrol agents encounter these people, they basically have no way of knowing who they are. Take a listen.
I'll just interrupt real quick. What is going on with Mauritania? 15,594. These are ones that have been intercepted, okay? You can probably triple easily the ones that have gotten through and nobody has any idea who they are or where they're from. But they're in our country, and we better wise up. I'll let it keep playing.
An open border allowing anybody to come in is a national security threat. This administration keeps wanting to talk about we're vetting people coming in. That's just simply not true. We have very little information on the people across this entire globe.
And to elaborate on that point, Border Patrol sources tell us that they simply have little to zero way of vetting these people from these so-called special interest countries. I'm told unless they've got a criminal record in the United States already or they're on some sort of federal watch list, there's no way for Border Patrol to find out about any possible criminal record. That's because these home countries that they're coming from, mostly in the Middle East, they don't share their records or their data with the United States. So when Border Patrol agents run their names or try to run their fingerprints, there's literally nothing there for them to compare it to. So obviously major security concerns down here at our southern border, especially with what's happening in Israel right now. Brett, we'll send it back to you.
Those numbers are staggering.
Yeah, Brett, the numbers are staggering, just like the numbers that came out of Arizona, right, Brett Bear? But anyway, historically, they have sent us people from mental institutions, prisons. Okay, that's nothing new. Trump didn't say anything out of line there at all. But of course, the mouth-breathing libs are going to act like he's such a horrible person. But this is, I believe this was in Michigan, right here. This is a disgrace. These are people chanting. The volume's low. They're chanting for Palestine, protesting. The sound is crummy, but I mean, I got one good example of what is wrong. They're bouncing around. They change their mind with the wind. Here you have Stanford University. Citizens Free Press put this one up. Stanford students show support for Hamas. Now, the illusion of Israel is burning. And somebody took the trouble to make this sheet and hang it after the horrors that we witnessed. And let me tell you, folks, I go on some sites on Telegram, and I heard that there was some footage being shown from prior conflicts. I heard that. But the footage that I saw, the majority of it could not be faked. It's brutal, it's awful, and it's things no human being should ever have to witness. But to have no compassion, no understanding of what these people have gone through and the shock and the horror of it, to come out and bring that kind of a banner out there is reprehensible. We know Stanford University is on the board. I'll put it that way, on the board for just like when you have a board and you put the photographs of the mafia bosses at top, and then you run a string to the capos and the capo regimes and the foot soldiers, right on down the whole organization. Stanford's one of them. And the biggest money laundering scam we've got going on, one of the biggest we've got, they're scamming us everywhere they can. But this Newsmax article here, Newsmax, Biden pushes to void student loans. President Biden's second attempt at student loan cancellations is moving forward with a round of hearings beginning Tuesday to negotiate the details of a new plan. So there you go. President Biden's second try to void student loans moves forward. They're not voiding student loans. They're giving them colleges our money for them to teach this kind of garbage. They're using our own money to put this kind of garbage out. And you say, you know, how can they be so unmoored, drifting morally, intellectually? Well, most of them have gone to Stanford, Columbia University, Harvard University. And if they don't get their loans paid off by the taxpayer, what they have done historically for installing future political operatives like Jen Psaki and all these bureaucrats is they give them grants, government grants. So the government, we, the taxpayer, pay for educations in communist-centric universities. And look how dysphoric their thinking is with this one poll. Democrats' sympathies in the Middle East. Look at this change from January of 2013 to February of 2023. Look at how that's flipped. But hey, what do you expect from people who say, "Oh, this week I'm a pan S3 actual," or "No, wait a minute, I changed that to buy." "Oh no, I'm a Zim." "No, wait a minute, I'm a Zer." You know, you got people that are dysphoric. They're wandering around with their brains scrambled up like eggs inside their heads. So how are they going to be able to function? And here's a good quote from. Let me find that quote. It's brutal, but it's true. And this is a point some of us are getting to. From Immanuel Kant, a philosopher. If the truth shall K-I and then the other two letters are LL, let them go, right? If the truth does that to them, that's their problem. That's the point we have to get at. I got into a back and forth with some nitwits, and I wisely limited myself. Some little nonsense about a Disney movie, because I said Disney to me is a marker. Disney is in control of a lot of what our children see and has been in control of a lot of our media for years. And the stuff they're putting out is garbage. They're losing money hand over fist. There's reports of a hostile takeover is going to be attempted here in the next couple of weeks. And one of the movies they put out is garbage. And I made a comment, well, it's hopeless. It's never going to change until gets sold out. Well, some guy sends me this message, is real long, drawn out garbage of how Bernie Sanders shamed Disney into paying $15 minimum wage. And so he's a Bernie bro. And he looked to be about 40 years old. So I didn't get into a big, deep argument with him because, okay, Disney's closed down its Galactic Hotel. It's selling off properties. It's cutting back its workforce. Yeah, they're paying $15 an hour, but they're firing people right and left, you nitwit. I just sent him a message back and said, yeah, keep pushing for $15 minimum wage, Trotsky. And I said, have you ever run a business? I thought not. And left it at that and didn't respond anymore. He had to say, they're just living in another world. Here's another world for you right here. Now you talk about people are talking about Obama being the Antichrist. That's more what I envision the Antichrist as right there. Of course, nobody knows the day and the hour when it'll all come to an end. But and hopefully we're at a point where we can find redemption. But what did Governor Creepo Newsom do? Lowers consent age to 12 for, quote, gender counseling without parents' okay. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill into law that permits children as young as 12 to reside in government-funded residential camps or whatever they're setting up. And let me tell you something, it's going to get bad. Parents are not going to put up with that stuff. Here's a nice one for you. Yeah, what's next? Well done, my son. Now tear down the Jesus statues, right? Cancel culture. And if I had another half an hour tonight, I would have copied some videos of students at Penn State, how they were behaving. They didn't know there was a state representative there, and they got arrested. But it's the usual crap, wearing masks, saying trans lives matter. And that stuff has got to be taken and pulled right the hell out of colleges, right the hell out of the halls of Congress. That's enough. So here we got, you send your kids to school. They're going to be able to infiltrate them mentally. They're going to be able to approach them with lewd and lascivious notions. And here, this creep comes out. The Federalist reported this. John Oliver, whoever that is, calls for states to crack down on homeschool wave. Oliver clearly views the recent uptick in homeschoolers as a threat that deserves to be quelled by the state. It's horrible. And as I say, people are not going to put up with it. So we got to come out strong. We got to swamp the swamp. And I tell you something else that's horrible. And we need to start thinking about doing. I don't know how many of you remember when Clinton came into office, there was an older general who had retired that said he thought, I don't know the exact quote, he said he thought Clinton was a pot-smoking bum or something like that. And he got disciplined even though he was retired. He went down in rank and he got his pay cut. And, well, here you have Tommy Tuberville, Senator Tommy Tuberville. I pulled a story up that came into my feed on NBC. Senator Tommy Tuberville won't lift his military blockade amid Israel-Hamas conflict. A blockade, he's saying it's enough of this woke culture, cancel culture in the military, no promotions for people that push that kind of crap. So, of course, they're saying, oh, it's a conflict in Israel. Are you going to lift your, quote, blockade? And he said, no, get lost. And so they say it's a months-long blockade, like there's supposedly going to be some hope of lifting it. Well, the reason I brought up that general that said something terrible about Clinton that they thought was terrible, and it was actually the truth. You all have heard of this person, General Michael Hayden. He's been on CNN, and he is, I'll show you what's said about him, but somebody tweeted out, should Tommy Tuberville be removed from his committee, yes or no, for not allowing woke nonsense in the military? Well, General Hayden says, how about the human race? He says that about a sitting senator. He needs post-service discipline for that. Post-service discipline. And I don't give a damn if they take it right up to a post-service court-martial. And here it is. Is this the one? Donald J. Trump Jr. This is the way it was perceived by him, and rightfully so. The former director of the CIA, which is who I'm talking about right now, General Hayden, is he one of the guys that signed that phony stuff, that phony garbage that Hillary dreamt up? Yes, he was. Who lied to the world about the Hunter's laptop being Russian disinformation, has disgraced himself even before that when as head of NSA, he pioneered warrantless surveillance in the U.S. Now he wants to ASS innate, okay, a U.S. senator. And there he redid the same tweet I just showed you. And it's a disgrace that we have members of the military behaving in this manner, and it needs to be disciplined. It cannot go undisciplined. Now, I promise you that Netanyahu tape, I'm going to play it for you. And I do have that transcript of where he says something. Y'all read along or listen to it. And he says something, and then he goes, our allies know what I mean by that. Something like that. It's not overly dramatic, but there is translation. Let me make sure it gets on the screen. Oh my. There we go. So anyway, what he's saying, what they're going to do is it's going to last for generations. So I think it's a very important speech, though it's a little hard for us to understand the translation, but it's there.
A war for our house, for the security of our existence, a war that we will win. This war was forced upon us by a dreaded enemy. Animals that kill women, children, and old people. The horrors that Hamas has done we have not seen for many years. Children handcuffed that were executed with the rest of their families. Young people were shot in the back, executed, and other horrors that I will not describe here. We have always known who the Hamas have been. Now the whole world knows. Hamas is the ISIS, and we will beat it just like the Western world has beaten ISIS. This terrible enemy wanted the war, and it will receive a war. At the beginning of the war, I instructed to do 5 immediate things. The first action was to clear villages and to stop the entrance of any enemy. These battles are still taking place. Several terrorists are still within us, and our forces are working around the clock to eliminate them. The second action that is currently being is to start a massive attack against the Hamas with force that has never seen before. The third action was to fortify the rest of the borders with the north of Hezbollah in Judea and Samaria and inside the country, and to hug our fighters, all the security people that have been working tirelessly in all of these fronts, risking their lives in order to protect the Israeli country. The fourth action was to continue the international support that I started gaining with the start of the war Saturday to help us fight against enemies. The final action, which for me is with top priority, is to solidify the unity in the country. We are now all united, and when we are united, we will win. The country is united, and now the management needs to unite. I'm calling the opposition leaders to immediately form a national unity government without any, just like happened with Menachem Begin at the start of the Six-Day War. citizens of Israel. We started, and I emphasize, we just started to hit the Hamas. The images of the Hamas bases in Gaza, it's just the beginning. We have killed many terrorists, and this is not going to stop. I said that any place from which Hamas operates will turn into rubble. This is already happening today, and it will continue happening even more so. I am on constant communication with President Biden, and I would like to thank him on behalf of all citizens of Israel. The USA supporting Israel in every way have a big area, biggest in the area, is only straight to this area. And the enemies of Israel understand what that means. I would also like to thank many leaders in the world for their support in Israel. Citizens of Israel, I have to tell you, there is also some fake news and propaganda that is trying to separate us and scare us, such as the information that there are lots of tunnels, or the fake news that the Egyptian army, the Egyptian official has warned us about this, which has never happened before. Do not believe this propaganda.
Right there, he just brought up the Egyptian army. He said they did not warn them ahead of time. He said there are people putting out propaganda trying to scare people and not to pay attention to it. And he also called for a unity government, much like with Menachem Begin, which didn't show up in the translation back during the Yom Kippur War. But anyway, I'll let it continue.
Most important in war is staying calm. I know we all want results right here, right now, but it will take some time. But I promise you, dear citizens, at the end of the war, all our enemies will know it was a terrible mistake to attack Israel. What we will do to our enemy in the next few days will echo for generations. Already, the battlefield is filled with heroic stories of our people, the citizens, the policemen, the soldiers. I saw a video of standing with his people after killing the terrorists. This is our spirit, standing strong together. I also watched a video of David, an army soldier whose child, he was out on the field, and he saw the ceremony of the brit on video. And when he heard the words from the ceremony, his eyes filled with tears. Yesterday, I appointed Gal Hirsch to be in charge of those abducted and missing. He has already begun his work, and we will do everything for them. Our heart is with the families of the abducted and with the families of those who have died. We have lost entire families, boys and girls, old men, old women, young and old, police and security, Jews and non-Jews. We are all sharing this. This is true and honest thing. This is the deepest thing that connects us together. Together we will overcome, and together we will win. Only together. As Prime Minister of Israel, I'm telling you honestly, we are ahead of difficult days. We are hurting for our brothers and sisters who have died, and I insist on winning this battle in order to bring peace to our people and our country. The people of Israel, the country of Israel is a miracle. In the book of Samuel, it says that the vanity of Israel will not lie. And during this journey, we will commit a promise, and this time we will also commit this promise, and the people of Israel will live.
So I don't know why they didn't put the last word on there. The people of Israel will, and it stops. But he said the people of Israel will live. And what he said, of course, is that what they're going to do will echo for generations But somewhere in there, he said that Biden and I couldn't. That's why I went and got this transcript. He's in constant communication with President Biden, and I would like to thank him on behalf of all citizens of Israel in the USA supporting Israel in every way. And then here it got weird. Have a think area. M biggest in the area is the only way to this area, and the enemies of Israel understand what that means. What? That's where he lost me. The enemies of Israel will understand what that means. It's very garbled, but I think what he was saying was the enemies of Israel will understand what the support of the U.S. means. I don't know if that's what he was trying to say or what, but here's what you have as a, quote, opponent, okay? And I can't really, I guess I can read this for those who are busy. Just remember the word pew, 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 P-E-W means S-H-O-O-T, okay? Because I can't say that word, all right? But here's a father getting his child to approach Israeli soldiers, okay? They're having a little standoff, and this father is trying to goad his child to go towards Israeli soldiers. You see what he said there? He said, go over there. Let them pew-pew you. Let them K-I-L-L-U. Then you see on the screen, raise the flag. Let them pew you. Raise it. So he's trying to provoke his child to throw rocks at the soldiers also. I'll go ahead and let it play out. So the little kid just picks up a rock and runs away. He doesn't know what he's doing, but it was obvious what the father was doing. So when you got people that take their own children and put them in those situations, thankfully that young soldier had his head on right and was behaving in a proper manner. But hey, that's what you're dealing with. Now, I got a video of Lindsey Graham I want to play. That is the roadmap to war. He lays the roadmap to war out. But before that, I just want to get this out of the way. Here's what happens when you have, it says, it's hard to read, it says shoplifter. What does that say? Shoplifter screaming Walmart is racist after getting caught stealing. And before this video, this person resisted a police officer, tore a bunch of stuff down on displays before they were tackled to the ground when they were caught stealing. But I hate to have to listen to it again, but hey, what's going on here is called a fact of life. This is what's going on in our society right now. There's what you have. That's supposed to be an adult. That's supposed to be an adult in the US of A. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to play Lindsey Graham. I've got a couple of things. I've gone over my hour, but I do want to address some things about misinformation and where they try to get people to discuss things. Well, this is a quick one that's not going to take a lot of talk, but here is Daily Mail. I always said keep an eye out for Daily Mail. Millions have the chance to see the most exciting astronomical event of the year as a rare ring of fire eclipse is set to appear. Take a look. Rare ring of fire eclipse to pass over our skies this week. This is how you can see it. So trying to get people to think about, I don't want to say a cult, but they want people to think about things that are not going to get us to look at what's really going on. Here's what happened in Israel after the bulletin I read to you last night about having your safe room, having your supplies, how much to have for each person, water, food, medicinal supplies, stuff like that. Just about every store has been wiped out. That is a nationwide guidance for everybody to stay home and be prepared. And in Gaza, because there ain't nothing coming in or out of Gaza. And I know there's innocent people there. I saw in the chats where people are like, well, we got to try not to harm innocent people. Yes, of course we do. But as you'll see when I play this business with Lindsey Graham, he's a politician. He's going to bring up, this was about a 25-minute interview, but I only took like 6 minutes out of it. But if you listen to him, you'll hear how he's going to lay out the road to war, world war. If you listen to him, you'll hear the recipe is what I should have put in there. But he brings up the hostages. There's about 150 is the estimate. I think it's more than that. And where they got most of them from were from that rave, that Burning Man style party that they had. Now, I made my thoughts known back when Burning Man came out, was happening. I said they were a bunch of hedonists, and I really didn't care what if they had to sleep in mud for a month. I could care less what happened to them. That doesn't mean that what happened to these people at this rave was okay, but they were very vulnerable, very close. Those paragliders only took a few minutes to leapfrog over that border, and they carried their weapons with them, and that's where they got most of their hostages. And the reality of it is they've scattered them all around Gaza in a very densely populated, many times slum areas. And you're not going to get those people back. You can't remember Otto Warmbier. Trump, that's one of the prisoners Trump got out of North Korea. They brought him back. He was basically walking dead. And you can't have your entire nation's security. You can't disregard your entire nation's security for hostages. You do the best you can, but you have to be realistic. So let me play Lindsey Graham. And I know a lot of people, Lindsey Graham, but hey, he's saying things. I think this is the long version. I got a short clip where it sounds to me like a reporter says CIA, but I can't make it out. I might play that in another broadcast. But anyway, this is Graham talking about the hostages, the money, okay, what's going to happen with Taiwan, Russia, and what his notions are, and it may be a window into what we can expect or what the black cats are trying to do.
Idea that we thought Iran was doing good rather than bad. They took it the wrong way. Putting humanitarian aid on the table for the Ayatollah was a reward for what? What had they done to deserve any kind of break, for lack of a better term? So their strategy with Iran, going back to the Obama administration, has been a miserable failure. They don't understand what the Ayatollah wants. He doesn't want a peaceful nuclear power program. He wants a bomb to destroy his enemies. And the number one target is the state of Israel. He is compelled by religious doctrine. You know, Rocket Man is kind of a mafia state. Putin wants to recreate the Soviet Union. China wants to dominate their region. Problems, but different. The biggest threat is religious fanatics with nuclear weapons. Iran is controlled by religious Nazis. They're compelled by their religious doctrine to attack the enemies of their faith. On top of that list is the Jewish state, then Sunni Arabs, then us. So, to the Biden administration, what you're doing is not working. Change course.
For bringing it back here to South Carolina a little bit, we have folks here that have family, have friends in Israel. What do you say to folks here and the Jewish community in South Carolina?
To the Jewish community in South Carolina, you're a treasure of our state. We love you. We have one of the oldest synagogues in the nation is in Charleston. I have been there many times. We stand with the people of Israel. This war is based on religion. They're trying to kill all the Jews. That's what the Nazis tried to do. The Nazis believed that the Jewish race had to be exterminated to ensure their dominance and the creation of a master race. The Ayatollah wants to destroy the state of Israel. He literally wants to wipe it off the map, and so does Hamas. I heard someone yesterday, the Qataris, argue now is the time to implement a two-state solution. That is insane. Asking Israel to go back to the 1967 borders and create a capital in East Jerusalem for the Palestinians under these conditions is insane. So to the people of my state, our state, who have loved ones in Israel, I'm all over it. They need to shelter in place until we can find a way to get them safely home.
I'm just going to interrupt real quick where he brought up 67 borders. He's saying Qatar is saying they need to go back to 67 borders. He sounds like he is totally opposed to it. Obama, I had a clip of him saying that they need to return to 67 borders, 1967. Graham was slick here. He said, it's impossible. It's insane. But then he said, if you caught it under these conditions, you know, they always leave themselves little outs. So, of course, we're keeping a sharp eye on Graham. But let him continue. Qatar is where that $6 billion is. Keep that in mind, folks. And Newt Gingrich gave the suggestion that if we're going to give Israel any aid, we take it out of the $6 billion that's supposed to go to Iran. We'll tell Qatar, cough it up and give it to Israel. Okay? That's what needs to happen.
I promise you our friends in Israel will do everything they can going forward to protect Americans. And there are a good many from South Carolina, I believe, stuck over there.
Talking about the two-state solution that has been, proposed for decades now. Hamas has been in charge of Gaza Strip for several years. With this, Is Israel going to take that land back?
So I'll leave it up to the Israelis, but they withdrew from Gaza trying to create land for peace. They unilaterally withdrew from Gaza, hoping that that would set the conditions for peace. They gave up the land and they've gotten war. The Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, this is a time of testing for them. Hope they will stay in the helpful camp. I don't mind helping the Palestinian people with a better life, to give them more autonomy, more control of their own destiny. That can only happen when Israel is secure. So part of the efforts to normalize with Saudi Arabia is to improve the life of the Palestinians. Count me in. I don't look at every Palestinian as a member of Hamas. But right now, it is insane to ask Israel to negotiate with the Palestinians when Hamas is running Gaza. There can never be peace between Israel and the Palestinians until you deal with Hamas. And now is the best time in generations to deal with this problem. To our friends in Israel, don't stop. Go as long as you need to go. Do whatever you need to do. We have your back. Don't stop.
The USS Gerald Ford has made movement over in the Middle East.
Yeah, I've been on the phone. We had a briefing last night. We're beginning to move the assets in the region that would deal with an escalation if one comes. Americans have died at the hands of the Iranians for decades. This is the most recent incident involving dead Americans from a plan hatched by the Ayatollah. They killed our soldiers in Iraq. The militias.
This is a point that he's going to get up to where I start thinking about where they tried to provoke Trump to get involved in Syria with the Kurds, okay, and get Turkey involved and have a direct confrontation with Russia. And Trump resisted and ordered all of our troops out of there. But you'll hear Graham talk about Syria and Russia and everything else. He's getting very close to where he's going to lay out this roadmap for World War III.
You have Iranian militias threatening American service members in Syria who are helping to keep ISIS from coming back. They have threatened an attack on our soldiers if we continue to help Israel. The Iranians have threatened Israel with an escalation, activating Hezbollah in the north, a two-front war if Israel goes in on the ground. My response is the following. If you kill one American, hurt one American in Syria, the Iranian-backed militias were coming for you. If this war escalates and you try further to destroy the Jewish state, you're going to be out of the oil business. They have fixed targets that are easy to hit. Their entire economy is based on oil production. Knock them out of the oil business. Make them pay a heavy price. Without money, Hezbollah and Hamas, without money in Iran, Hezbollah and Hamas are very seriously hurt.
How long is...
And who made oil valuable? Who made oil valuable? The black hats, when they turned us over to the petrodollar. Okay? We got gobs of oil under our own feet. It would be worthless if we went to drill our own oil. But I'm telling you, I agree with you, Camperman. He is a warmonger. I don't know how much control they got over him, but you heard him say, if one U.S. soldier gets hurt over there, and he was talking about Syria, he's talking about starting the dominoes to fall. And you'll hear how the dominoes, they want the dominoes to fall. And pray to God they don't fall the way he's describing. Or he will be describing in a moment during his speech. Oh my goodness, my screen froze. There we go. It's going.
Is it going to delay any potential aid to Israel and Ukraine, for that matter, without a Speaker of the House?
So I just literally got off the phone to the Israeli ambassador. There will be an aid package quickly coming from the Senate, but it will not be one and done. they'll need more. And eventually, we need to do a package to help Ukraine keep fighting the Russians. If Putin wins, China will surely go into Taiwan. And they will keep going throughout Europe till we'll eventually have a war with NATO and Russia. So we need to help the Ukrainians. They don't want soldiers, they just need military assistance. We need to help Israel to be able not only to deal with Hamas, but if they have to, go bigger.
To go bigger. He's talking about a conflagration in the Middle East, okay, of multiple Arabic countries fighting Israel. He's talking about NATO and Russia being involved in a European war, and also in the Asia Pacific with Taiwan. That's what he said. I know it took a long time to get there, but that is what is being laid out. And as far as his intentions and his goals and how much control the White Hats have over him, it's all a very real possibility for the whole damn thing to blow up. And Trump's been warning about it and warning about it. So let me see what's going on in the chats. You know, I want, here's something for The View. The View. Hamas terrorists added to panel on The View. This is the Babylon Bee. In a controversial decision, producers of the popular daytime talk show, The View, announced the show will be adding a Hamas terrorist to its panel of hosts. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, who knows what he's pocketed. And we all saw him over there with John McStain. We saw him over there with John McStain. No, I don't trust him either. And let's see, I got everything out of my way so I can see what's going on in the chats. And yeah, they want us to pay for it all. We got to give money to Ukraine, he says. We got to give money to Israel, he says. We got $6 billion over there in Qatar. And that's, already gone. So let's just snatch it back and give the taxpayers a damn break. So anyway, whose picture do I want to put up when I'd let fireworks off? Here, let me see what I can do here. I want to thank Gary. Let me put up I've been an hour and 17 minutes. So this is everybody that helped me last week, and I appreciate it. Tennessee, Pappy, Norm, Lone Wolf, Zaza, Camperman, Julie. So I'm going to see about putting some stuff up here. Here's my special effects, and I will put up, I wanted to put some bullet holes, but I guess I get in trouble for that, and I don't want to put bullet holes in my, or bombs going off on people that help me. I'll put Joe back up. I'll put a heart up. I'll put some hearts here, some more hearts there. Thank you very much for helping me. And then I'll put Joe Biden's face up and set some bombs off. Wait a minute. My screen froze up again. There we go. Get out of the way. Joe Biden, I want to. Yeah, there we go. I know I'm boring you all with my special effects, but here we go. Where's that bomb going to go off? This is the one that works good. Boom. Pow. Right on the forehead and bang, 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 bang. So, pow, pow, pow. I wonder if I get in trouble for doing this. Pow. There's no. That's all right. There you go, Joe. All right, folks. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's helped the channel out. I got a buy me a coffee link in the description. And I hope y'all had a good time tonight. I want to play something exciting when we go out. And I have said that my subscribers have frozen. My views are just like carbon copies of each other. And there's no growth. But hey, we'll keep on keeping on. So I guess I'll just do this little short clip of Putin on the way out. I appreciate you all and spending your precious time with me. And I'll be broadcasting again soon. So please hit the notification bell. If you are not subscribed, please think about subscribing. And I will be seeing y'all soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
You want to play this? Okay. Have to play with it. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.